All right. Um, so I'm in my bedroom because my daughter's. I didn't want to record it out in my living room because my daughter's out there. She's eating breakfast. It's early in the morning. I just had to go to my mom's to pick her up because she spent the night at my mom's house last night. And I wanted to get on here and talk about this really quick. I don't know. I don't know why this came into my energy. I'm just going to talk about, I don't want to focus on it. I just want to talk about what I could pick up. I don't know why I picked this up. I know why, because I did think about it for just a little while, and it it led me to think about something else that's not has nothing to do with it, but the energy around the energy around what I'm going to talk about is very similar, like that is very similar to something else that I want to say. So when I was driving out to my mom's, I had to be there. I had to leave here at 4 in the morning to get there by 5. And I left here at like 4:15. It takes me like, a little over a half hour to get to my mom's house. But driving out there sometimes, because where I live, there's not a lot of stuff around, okay? My mom, though, lives way out in the middle of nowhere, and sometimes driving out there, I pick stuff up, okay? Um, so right now when I was driving, um, for whatever reason, I and I could feel it, something not something. I could feel the energy was trying to come, like literally come step into my body, because when that happens, um I can feel it like in the back of my neck, okay? And I get chills all over my body. Um so I picked up the energy of um Paul Walker and the guy he was with that was driving. Um, when I picked it up, it just happened, like it just happens. Okay, so random. Um, and what um, I saw right after they crashed, I can literally see. Um, at first, I was trying to figure out whose energy I'm picking up. I thought maybe it was more of the guy that was driving. I forget his name. Um, but no, I'm specifically seeing and picking up Paul Walker. I think maybe because he was more of a public figure. I don't know who that other guy was, but I'm specifically seeing him after they crashed. I can see him outside of the car. It's like they crash, right? And instantly he's pulled out of his body. And it's such a shock. I see him, right? You step out of your body, but you're still, right? You're still appearing and you're still attached to this form, right? Because it's not time. I could feel kind of the energy around it. It's almost like this was not supposed to happen, but it was. And I don't know. I've kind of tried to sit and feel like, why did that happen? And I can't get anything either way. That's just what I feel. It was supposed to happen, but then it wasn't. Okay. And anyways, but I see him like, right? The energy is very panicked. Um, he's not, he's not, he's aware, right? But he's not. Okay. And I see him banging on like the car window, like he's literally watching himself he's looking at himself unconscious, okay? um and it's like I'm trying to get into this car to get myself out, like not fully aware that, wait a minute, I'm trying to pull myself out. Like he's not even fully aware that he's not in his physical body anymore, okay? Even though I can literally see him pounding trying to get himself out of the vehicle, okay? There's no thought of, like, in his energy trying to, like, worrying about the other person, right? I don't pick up that energy at all. I don't even see that person. Um, but I see him trying to get himself out of the vehicle, okay? And when that, like, I feel like once he kind of realizes that's not working, I see his energy kind of run off, like, and the feeling is right to get help, okay? Um and then that's it. I don't see anything else, okay? But when I was kind of sitting right now for a minute, trying to focus on this, right? The feeling is so, like, panic and intense, right? Like, I'm trying to, I'm looking at myself, trying to save myself, right? Not even registering that, hey, wait a minute, how can I be out here when I'm in the car, right? When I'm in the car, how can I be like, it's not registering, okay? He's just panicking and like in shock that, oh my gosh, we were just in a, like, it's almost like, does that make sense? Like, it's not registering for him, okay? And what I could feel around that is because at the time, right, when that happened, when that crash happened, the energy around everyone, right? We didn't know kind of what happened to them, like where they went, right? Like, they drove off and they were supposed to come back. And when they didn't come back, so the energy here on earth it was building, right? And once we realize, oh my God, the crash happened, and the energy is so panicked, right? And it's coming from everywhere, right? Because he's famous, okay? So the energy is more intense. The energy here, what we think and what we feel influences stuff over there on a different dimension. When we step out of our body, okay, the energy here, how we think, how we feel, influences the energy over there, okay? And this led me to think about something else that I've done a video on that I'm going to talk about, that it just reminded me of this, and I want to speak about it. But right, so going, like, Paul Walker, sorry, I'm a little scatterbrained. It's hard for me to talk about sometimes the stuff because the energy is so much, and I'm trying not to let it overtake me so I can speak. Right, so he crashes. I see that, okay? And the energy here, I feel like it was very quick that he finally realized what happened, because we know what happened, right? The energy around it, right? It happened. We kind of didn't know how, like, we found out very quickly, oh my God, he crashed and fucking died, right? But the energy around that, everyone's still so upset. And then we go through the energy of, well, how did it happen? How did the car crash? How, we go through that, and all of that energy affects over on that side, okay? But I feel like once everyone realized very quickly, oh, he crashed and now he's deceased, right? So I feel like that energy let up very quickly because we found out, we know how he died, right? So that allowed him to realize what happened to him, okay? He wasn't stuck in that energy of not realizing that he's stepped out of that physical body and he's not alive anymore, okay? He's alive, his spirit, his soul, right? He's still alive, okay? But just not in that physical body. And I feel like once the energy, once everyone realized, it might have taken a little longer for him, right? But, once the energy kind of died down of, okay, we know how it happened, then he could realize what happened, okay? And this reminded me, and I want to talk about this. I did a video like over a year ago on Maura Murray, okay? And you don't have to agree with me, okay? And some people might not agree with me, but this is the energy I can feel around that. And this is what goes on sometimes. So okay, how I was saying like about Paul Walker, he realized very quickly. It's like having an awakening on that side, okay? Like when you're ripped out of your body so quick like that and so traumatically and horrifically, it takes a minute, right? It takes a minute not only for you to realize what the hell's going on, but the energy here influences that, okay? It matters, okay? And it made me think about Maura Murray because I've had a person comment recently on that video I did. I get quite a few comments on that video. That's probably the video that I get the most comments on. And recently I've had someone comment on my videos about her, so it's in my energy again, okay? And I feel very strongly about this, and her case is like a perfect example of many cases that are stuck like this. When you were ripped out of your body like that so horrifically, and you pop out of your body, everything looks the same, okay? It's like stepping over into you go through an imaginary window or door, okay? And everything's the same, okay? You can tell it's different, but it's almost in a way kind of it tricks you in a way, because especially when you're ripped out of your body so horrifically, because it's like, you don't even realize, okay? But also, a way that you don't realize that you are not alive physically anymore is when the energy here keeps it alive. And what I mean by that is what happened to poor Maura Murray, okay? She was horrifically ripped out of her body, okay? She was murdered horrifically, okay? And the energy around that case and so many other missing person cases, the energy around it is so mysterious. We keep it mysterious, okay? We keep that story going of what happened to her. Like, yeah, we want to know what happened, where's her body. The energy around that case is so it's right in front of you. The answer is right in front of you. There is no mysterious, like, she was horrifically murdered by someone. It's right in plain sight. The person who encountered her on the side of the road, okay, that's your answer, okay? There is no mysterious, but we keep it that way. And what that does, in my opinion, from what I can feel from the energy, what that does when you keep that energy out there of mystery, that keeps other people, when that have to actually go through that, Maura Murray, that keeps her stuck, okay? I know that people want to find their loved ones, okay? But a lot of times, okay, not all the time, a lot of times what happens is it keeps the energy and it keeps that soul stuck in a state of, what happened to me? What is going on? What happened? They don't know, okay? Because over here, in the 3D world, we are exuding that energy. Okay, we are exuding what happened, trying to, trying to look up everything and go to the actual spot, and that frantic energy, right? That energy of not knowing keeps these poor victims stuck. And when we're down here making up theories, and right, you might not believe me, but when we speak theories that are not true, okay, when we make stuff up, it's almost like the energy, it sends an energy out there, and then that poor victim has to actually go through that energy, right? They have to actually physically live on a different dimension, the energy that we are sending out by speaking, okay? Because these realities are connected, okay? We just can't see it, all right? Some people, a lot of people can't see it, all right? So poor Maura Murray comes out of her body. She doesn't realize what's going on. She doesn't remember. And she's not going to realize and remember until people over here, right, calm down. Like, and it has calmed down a lot, right? Like not a lot of people speak about it, but it does get brought up, right? I talked about it over a year ago. But I only spoke about what I could see, what I could actually physically pick up, and what I could actually physically see through my third eye, okay? And I didn't speak or make up scenarios or make up energies, right? I just spoke about what I could pick up. And I don't pick up anything else from her. But what I do pick up, right? I don't see what happened to her. What I spoke about in my video that I made on her, that's what I can get, and that's the only thing I've ever gotten, okay? But when I channeled what I just channeled on Paul Walker, it just reminded me of that. She is still stuck, not realizing that she is deceased, or that she is not in her physical body, okay? That she is not attached to that. She's not in that form anymore, okay? And what is going on with her, because people stir up the energy and want to go look for her and want to, like, I understand that, right? We want to know what happened. We're not going to find out until she is allowed to relax. The energy is allowed to relax, and she is allowed to figure it out for herself. Unfortunately, and this is my psychic opinion from the energy around what I can feel, okay? When we speak about these cases and we keep it alive and we go searching for them and we go, sometimes, yes, when we find things out, yes, it can help. But sometimes in certain cases, and this is what I feel on Maura Murray's case, there is something there energetically that she needs to figure out. And I'm getting chills throughout my body. There's something with that case. She needs to figure out what happened to her, okay? Because it was so horrific. It needs to be done on her time, okay? And unfortunately, when she has to step into that energy of what happened to her and how horrific it was to to be ripped out of your body that way, when she finally can step into that and realize what happened, kind of unfortunately relive and be more awake and realize what happened to her, then the energy over here, right? Then I feel there will be some sort of break in that case as far as what happened to her, finding her body, whatever the case may be, I strongly feel this, especially with her case. You are not going to find anything. Her body, there will be no answers until her energy is ready to realize what happened to her. She's in a place somewhere where she is not aware of what happened to her, okay? And she is living and just kind of repeating karmic cycles, repeating bad behaviors, okay? She is not aware of what happened to her. And people, when you pass away, you don't ever die. You go somewhere else and you continue to live, okay? You will encounter different other people, other situations. You get into other situations and different cycles, and when it's not really your time to, and I've said this in other videos, I feel like when you really cross over is when you're ready to come back, okay? Like when you're ready to start a new cycle, like a new life, I feel like that's when you cross over and go into the light, okay? But I feel like when you die prematurely, right? Like horrifically, whatever, when you step out of your body, you go somewhere else and you continue to live and you continue to work out your problems and your issues. And it's like, when you're done with that, fine, then you're ready to come into a new body, then you step into the light and cross over, okay? I don't believe in the typical, like, when you die, you come out of your physical body, then you immediately go and cross over. No. But in Maura Murray's, in that whole case, in that whole situation, she needs to, for whatever reason, angels and spirits are guiding it so that she needs to have some sort of an awakening in the place where she's at right now, okay? She needs to figure out, she needs to have an awakening and not run from it, okay? Because I feel like that's what she's doing right now, because the energy over here is still very, like, we keep it alive, okay? I feel like I know it's not, again, it's not very, everybody knows that case, okay? It's too popular, okay? It's kept alive, and it's keeping the energy stuck for her, okay? This is something, and again, you can agree with this, you can agree with me or not. This is something she needs to come have her own realization, okay? We're never going to be able to figure it out over here, even though, in my opinion as well, the answer is right in front of you, okay? We might not be able to see her body, and I still feel very strongly where she went missing, her body's not far from there. And you're never gonna find it though, okay, in my opinion, because we are keeping the energy stuck, we are helping, we are contributing, keeping her stuck by speaking about it and speaking about the theories and physically going, like, it literally needs to just be, as people might say, this is very not, it's like one of those, it strikes me as one of those cases that is not going to have any type of breakthrough until many, 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 many years. Like how we hear of cases from like the 1920s or the 1930s or 40s or 50s, and now we're just finally figuring out some of those, this is what happened. This is, it just, that's the energy, like, that it gets me, like, it needs to be completely, it needs to be like, go into, like, I don't know I don't think it's considered a cold case. I don't know, but it needs to be forgotten about for like 75 years, like just a very long time. It may seem very long over here, but what that will do energetically for her is allow her to disconnect that the energy that she cannot figure out. It will allow that to really relax and die down so she can come back around and really have a realization, oh, this is what happened. Like, it's almost like I don't even think she knows something is not correct, okay? But she's not even fully aware that she is even on a different, that she stepped out of her body, okay? Um, so the energy over here still, it's two, even though she's been missing, right? And she's not missing, she's around, okay? I can pick her energy up. I can feel this, okay? But it just needs to, even though this has been a long time ago she went missing, right? The energy still here is too powerful, okay, around that case. It's too much, and it is preventing her from moving on, okay? And this, I've said this before, it drives me insane when you have these, just with anybody, okay? It's not just people who speak about true crime on YouTube, and you can do it in your everyday life. Gossip, right? We gossip about these things. Oh, what do you think happened to her? And you may think it's so innocent, right? It's so innocent, talking about, oh, I think this happened to her and this, but what you are doing, okay, because I can literally see it and feel it, okay? What you are doing is keeping that energy, you're putting that out there, and it sends a vibration, okay, over to where she is, and she can feel it. It's influencing her. She might not be consciously fully aware, but it's influencing her to keep her stuck, okay? She needs to have an awakening as to, like, on what happened to herself. She needs to figure it out. And when she finally does, I don't know how long, but I feel like a very, very long time from now, then there will be something that, there will be some sort of closure around it. It might not be the closure that everybody was hoping for, but there will be something a long time from now, okay? Something that, with that case, there will be some, again, maybe not the ending everyone was hoping for, but something will happen, because it will happen on her end, okay? We're not going to find anything, we're not going to know anything until it happens on her end first. Something about that case, and her particularly, her, whatever she's supposed to learn and however this is supposed to go for her, angels and spirits, that's the way it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be this way, okay? It is supposed to, it's something for her to learn, unfortunately. As horrific as that is, we are not going to solve anything on that case until the energy over here relaxes, okay? That, right? Going back to what I picked up briefly on Paul Walker, that's, it's like that channeling that this morning reminded me that that is what is going on, the energy around Maura Murray, right? It's a perfect example. He died very suddenly, very quickly. We know how he died, right? Because it's physically, we can physically see it, right? So the energy we put out is, oh, the energy relaxed very quickly, right? He died. We didn't know at first, right? So, and that made him panic, okay? On top of being ripped out of your body like that, that makes you, right, panic. But the energy here was panic and just, but once we knew what happened, right? And that sent out a vibration, it sent out an energy of, oh, like, we relaxed, right? So that allowed him to have a quick realization or a quick awakening, okay, to realize he died in that crash, okay? It was very quick, okay? So does that, I mean, yes, I'm sure that makes sense. And it just reminded me to think of Maura Murray because it's been brought up, right? People commenting recently about her on my channel. Um, that's what's going on with her. The energy here is very still frantic. The energy around it is still, so what happened? It's so mysterious, right? We want to know. And it's like almost like we are interfering, okay, with that energy. We're interfering with, we're holding the energy up for her. And that's, it's sad, okay, that people just, I understand it's painful. I could never imagine losing my daughter like that, okay? I couldn't even imagine. And, but unfortunately, when it becomes this huge popular thing and the energy is just constant, it's constantly spoken about and constantly thought about, you know, and two, people, we can pick up their energy too. Other people may be picking that, maybe aren't, they're psychic, right? But not as aware. You might be wondering, why am I obsessively thinking about this case? Why do I want to constantly look her up and look up the case and read about it and watch videos on it? It's because you're picking up her energy, okay? Because she's over there frantic and wondering, oh my God, what, you know, what is this? What, she knows something is not right, but she's still living, okay? You just can't see her because she stepped over into another dimension, okay? And right, like you're picking up her energy, but she's also picking up our energy, right? She's picking up people's energy that think about her, right? That wonder, you're putting out that energy, and that's, it's keeping her stuck and it's keeping the case from being solved because people just won't relax and let it go. And again, you can agree with me or not. I just dropped my heart selenite rock. I guess I should stop talking. Again, you can agree with that or not, agree with me or not on that. I feel so passionate and strong about that because I can feel it. I can feel the energy, and it breaks my heart. You know, all we can do when people get stuck like that, all people should do is just say a little nice, you know, all you need to do, write a prayer, however you connect with stuff like that, you know, saying a nice word or two. And if people could just stop themselves from indulging in, right? Because I know sometimes people get very obsessive over cases like that. And what you're doing is you're channeling them, okay? You are picking up because she wants to know what happened to her too, okay? But it's like a push and pull, back and forth. You know, we're picking up her energy, but she in return is picking up our energy, okay? And a lot of times when we pick up stuff, I'll be out in a minute, go on, please. When we pick up stuff like that, when we obsessively think about cases and we don't know what happened to them, sometimes instead of indulging in that feeling, what we need to do is just say, you know, a nice word or two, put that energy out there and let it go, okay? Because she needs to find out, she needs to, unfortunately, figure it out for herself, okay? And again, when that happens, and then when that happens on her side, when she figures out whatever, however it's supposed to happen, then on this side, the energy will relax and we will get some sort of answer, okay? I feel that sometimes, I know we never get answers, but I feel that very strongly with her case. When the energy relaxes over here and people let go, there will be some sort, again, and I feel like saying this, it might not be the answer you were expecting, but it will be something. but it needs the energy around that case is so strong. It's still, after all these years, right? It's still so intense. And it's making her stuck. It's making her stuck. And I wish people would just, I know people, right? Like I've made tons of videos about missing people and people that have been murdered, but I only speak about what I can see and what I can feel, and that's it. Okay? I don't force an answer. And if I don't feel, yes, sometimes I have had to try very hard on some of the things that I've picked up, but I don't speak about anything that is untrue. Okay? Whether you believe that or not. Like, I don't know. I just wish for her in that particular case, people would relax, because she needs that energy. She needs people to relax. I think it would help. It would really help the energy for her. Okay. So, I can't even imagine losing my daughter, and I understand wanting to know. But sometimes, as painful as that is, as painful as that is, sometimes we just have to accept the reality here. Okay? And the reality here is that we are not going to get the answers we want until she gets the answers for herself. Okay? There is something with that. She's having to go through, she's dealing with some issues, okay, that she had. Okay? She needs to work through some issues within herself first before she can realize what happened to her. Okay? So, all right, I'm gonna go. That's long enough. And I don't mean I'm not trying to be rude or disrespectful or any, if I can, you can't tell people what to do. If people want to, talk about her and help, fine. If that's what you feel is, but my opinion from the energy I can feel around that and around her, people here are, by speaking, the energy down here in this shithole that we live in, okay, it's keeping her stuck. And I feel very bad for her, that people just cannot, they just keep it boxed. And it's like, yes, I know we don't know what happened to her, but we do know what happened to her. And I said this, I'm just going to keep repeating myself. The answer's right in front of you. People want to talk about, oh, this person and that person. The answer's right in front of you. The person who murdered her is right there. It's out there. And I've had people people disagree with me. I don't care. Okay? Because I can see and feel the energy around that case. And we are turning it into a shit show down here. And it's keeping her stuck. And it's very sad. Why would you want to keep her stuck in some sort of horrible cycle? Okay? She needs to move on. It's like, it's enough. It's just it's like, I'm getting angry. I feel angry. Like, people are, it's like, it's keeping her stuck. Like, everyone, like, can we just please relax? Like, oh, I'm gonna go, because I'll just end up saying something. It is. It's a very frustrating energy. to deal with. And this is why lately too, I've focused more on just doing tarot card readings and just different energies I can pick up, and just kind of relaxed and withheld from speaking about these type of cases unless I speak about them, unless what I'm seeing and picking up is correct. Okay. And I don't force anything. Okay. Trying to sit there as someone that can pick up stuff psychically. Other psychics, right, may sit there and for days and weeks and force, meditate on it, meditate and try and force. You're never going to get anything. Okay. I can only tell you what I can pick up. Like randomly today, I picked up Paul Walker. Okay. Yes, people can throw stuff at me, and yes, I can sit there and concentrate on it and pick stuff up sometimes. Okay. It just depends. But I've held off on talking about so many murder cases and missing person cases. It's because stuff on that side, it works different, and people have their own shit to figure out, including murder victims. Okay. So I'm going to go. Sorry. I hope, well, I don't care if people get offended. That's, that's my honest, what I can feel around the energy around that case. And I wish, it's like, I want to say, like, leave the poor girl alone. Like, even though I know people want to help, I get it. But speaking from an energy standpoint, like an energetic, a spiritual, like spiritually, energetically, like, leave her alone. She's got some shit to figure out. And we're never going to get answers here until she figures it out for herself. Anyways, okay. Long enough rant. I'm going to go. Okay, bye.